Okay, let's get rid of that countdown shit. Okay, guys. So there's good news. I got a bit of good news. First off, happy to see everybody's here. I'm seeing familiar faces. It's always nice to see one new guy in chat. That's always nice to see. Just growing by one viewer a stream. So I got some good news. Good news number one, I think I finally fixed the mic issue. I think the Robo Mikey shit, the Robo Mikey era may finally be dead. I think I finally figured out how I could fix that little issue. So, I mean, we'll see. It might happen. It might happen again this stream and I'll just say fuck it and I'll just have to like go through another tutorial or something. But I think I figured it out this time. The other good news is that I finally finished the script for the video that I'm supposed to put out this month. So all I gotta do is finish the audio for it, and then I can just start editing it, and I'll probably have it up by next week. I'm hoping the 20th or 21st. Not for, not for any sort of YouTube check shenanigans or anything like that. I just really want it out the way. So I need at least a week head start so I can get out work on the other documentary, like the actual video, the actual big video. I got one last big video in me after the video I'm gonna drop this month. And I just wanna get the one I'm working on out of the way right now so that I can have the rest of, the year to finish that video before Christmas. So hey, what's up, you guys? For real, your vids and commentary are hilarious. Well, thank you. He's white? Man, don't you even start. Me white? No, sir. I do wish I had his sword though. I do wish I had Sephiroth's sword. So today, I know I keep saying that, oh, I'm going to leave Rich alone. I'm going to leave Rich's name out of my mouth. I know I keep saying that. And I genuinely mean it every time I say it. I really would leave Rich alone if he would just stop being retarded, but he don't wanna. He don't wanna quit. He don't wanna keep giving me free content. So I'm over here, I'm over here having to make videos about this dude every time because he won't shut the fuck up. If he would just, hold on, I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. Where is that thing? I just gotta put something up. I gotta take care of something and then, okay. All right, it's done. All right, so, well, first, hold on. Let me go ahead and just put on his channel. All right, and now, okay. Where is it? Where? Okay, there you go. So here we are. We're on ReviewTechUSA's channel. Oh no, we aren't gonna be. I mean, I could, but that shit is Rich going on like his political tangents. That shit is genuinely fucking exhausting to me. I don't understand how any of his fans can bear to listen to that shit because he genuinely doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, for real. He's like a real actual dunce when it comes to anything political. So right here, we're on ReviewTechUSA's channel. And I want to show you guys a pattern, right? I want to show you guys a pattern before we get to the content we're going to be looking at today. All right, so let's look. Review Tech, as you guys know, Rich earlier. Well, hold on. No, it was like earlier this year. I keep forgetting because it's like you think no, it was last year. It was last year. I keep forgetting. The timeline is because everything feels like it was forever ago. It really wasn't that long. So ReviewTechUSA deleted his 1 million sub channel. His bullshit reason, which is still, I think that's his most viewed video on here. Yes, his most viewed video is him bullshitting about why he deleted his 1 million sub channel, about how he was embarrassed by it, about how he felt he was held down by it, about how he didn't like the content he was doing on that channel. That's all 100,000% cap because he spent the better part of the last year doing the exact same videos he was doing on that channel, but just getting less views for it, right? But still, he has been growing. To Rich's credit, he has been getting steady views most of the time. I want to show you guys a little pattern here, right? Let's see. We'll go. Okay, let's start here. Let's start here. So as you can see, ReviewTechUSA, he's been getting steady views with these videos, right? Around 10 to 20,000. Sometimes the algorithm will bless him. He'll get hit with something like this, 33,000, 44,000, you know. It's decent. It's decent for a slop channel. He could really make more of these. Like, he goes days in between posting these videos. I don't know why. I guess Jay was carrying his old channel even more than we thought, because I don't understand why he can't put out at least one of these every day or two of them every 3 days. I don't get it. But anyway, he's been getting steady views on him. But every once in a while, he starts posting bullshit like this. Trump pulls another fascist move, shakes down YouTube for millions. Stupid, dumb political video that obviously his own audience doesn't fuck with, because it doesn't even have 6,000 views after a month. Now, he also did another video about P. Diddy, didn't even break 5K. Now we go here, he starts talking about how Xbox is dead, which he's right. Rich has the correct take on the Xbox brand. Xbox is fucking dead. And Steam, in their Steam machine, is probably going to displace them in the coming year when Valve finally gets that off the ground. So, you know, that got 30K. That's really fucking good compared to his other slot videos. 7.3K on some dumb announcement video. Then we got 10K, 10K. Oh, look, 4K. He's talking about politics. 10K, 16K, 10K. Oh, look, these are all doing pretty fucking good. And oh, look, here we have this. We have this video where Rich is talking about Smash JT getting fucked up by Colin Moriarty, former IGN journalist, current Sony shill. I don't think that highly of Colin Moriarty, but I won't deny he did clap Smash JT's cheeks here. I'm not gonna lie, he did do that, right? Broken M. Didn't you give up on Review Mikey USA? No, I haven't given up on Review Mikey USA. Review Mikey USA is coming back. It will. It's just I don't plan on putting slop content on it anymore. I was only doing it as a joke. You know, I was doing it as a joke and also because I was bored. But now I'm thinking, you know, I actually do want to talk about gaming shit a little bit. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll come back, but I'll come back with, like, I don't know, a documentary about something. I'll come back with actual content that I put effort into. So anyway, this got 10K views. Now, Rich got cocky, right? He got cocky and thinking, oh, I can just make videos about anything again and just get the same amount of views. He was wrong, and he's going to be proven wrong. Because, okay, we got not even 9K, barely, not even 8K. And here he is trying to get on the Nintendo hate wagon, right? And it's like, whatever. You're going to grift off shitting on Nintendo, whatever. Man, make your money, grift. It doesn't matter. It is kind of ridiculous. Like, the amount of Nintendo slander YouTubers I've been seeing just making slop after slop about how Nintendo is dead and the Switch 2 is cooked. Look, you guys, Switch 2 broke stupid amounts of records. The new Pokemon game, is it slop? Is it lazy garbage? Yes, it still sold $1 bajillion. I'm sorry, Nintendo lives the gaming industry game on easy mode. They'll make a gajillion dollars no matter what. It's whatever. Anyway, he didn't do that well. And then he made this video about Erica Kirk, you know, pretending to be sad about her husband dying in 4K and her having to witness it in first person. Because, you know, you wouldn't be traumatized by it. Just, you know, zero empathy for this bitch. And only because, you know, she's a conservative and he thinks Charlie Kirk is a racist. Which, for the people who truly do believe that Charlie Kirk is a racist, okay, like, what do you classify somebody like Nick Fuentes as? What do you classify the Richard Spencers of the world as? Where do those dudes, like, fit in the paradigm? If Charlie Kirk is a racist, where do all these dissident right and far right niggas go? Because these dudes make Charlie Kirk look damn near like a centrist liberal. I don't know. Like, I don't. The whole Charlie Kirk is a racist shit because I don't know. He didn't worship Martin Luther King. It's kind of silly. Kind of silly. He says something bad about Black Lives Matter, so he's a racist. It's whatever. So he went back to his old ways with Soldier Boy, trying to make another Soldier Boy, and it did pretty good. And then it started going down. And this is the video that we're going to react to that did really fucking badly. See, he thought because of that video 2 weeks ago, he could make another video about Smash JT and it does well. He thinks, fuck it, I'm gonna do a whole mini expose documentary about Smash JT. And it didn't really work. Nobody in his audience really gave a fuck. They don't care about drama. See, he could get away with this because it was gaming related, right? It was Colin Moriarty, who was an actual gaming journalist for like over a decade at IGN. You know, he has his gaming podcast and shit. You know, he can still put that under gaming. This is just drama. This is just Rich seething over. And the reason why Rich sees so fucking hard over Smash JT is jealousy. And we're going to see that when we get here. And basically the pattern here is obvious. If Rich just does gaming videos, if he just does gaming and tech related videos, and like if he's gonna do drama, make it gaming like adjacent, like this Soldier Boy video or this older Smash JT video, he would do fine, but he can't help himself. He has to keep doing political videos that don't do that well, and he has to do videos like this, which are just fucking drama. And even then, some would say, well, the Erica Kirk video, it didn't do that. Well, this video is like, okay, I don't have the extension. The dislike ratio ain't nice. This is one of those videos that got popular because it's kind of infamous because of controversy. And Rich chases controversy, even though it invites a bunch of people like me, or like, he's actually really lucky that the casino was on vacation because they would have been all over this shit, nigga. Like, for real. Videos like this only invite people like me to come and make fun of them. Now, I'm not going to make fun of them for this specific video because this is supposed to be a short stream. And I'm kind of already wasting time by babbling like this. But I want to set it up first before we get to the video. And you can see in the comments, I really do hate Rich's audience, right? Like, I really do. I really do despise this man's audience because they just feed into his bullshit. Now, I think part of this is just that he gets rid of comments. We've seen it. We have evidence of him just getting rid of comments, reporting them for cyberbullying. Literally, he does that, grown-ass man. And here we go. Mike Guy 15, respect how you are unapologetically speaking the truth. Brontiago, love to see you put your energy into something that generally interests you, Rich. Keep it up. USS Sentinel, Era KKK Kirk is already gunning to be the new FLOTUS in advanced presidency. Usha, your days are numbered. The sectional offender will dump you as soon as the right moment. See, fucking nonsense. These are the worst people to listen to. These people are going to lead him astray. They're going to get him in trouble. They're going to get him involved in some bullshit he really doesn't want to be involved in. They're going to further destroy his channel. This was the type of behavior that got his channel fucked up in the first place. And here he is on his other channel doing the exact same thing that caused him to fuck over his old channel. Like, dude, just make the gaming slop videos, put them in the bag, bro, and just do your streams where you e-bag so you can pay your mortgage or whatever. Just do that and you'll be fine. But he doesn't want to do that, right? He wants to do politics and he wants to do drama like this. So now we're going to get into this Smash JT video. We're not going to cover the Smash JT video, the old one, because the old one basically covers the same shit that I really want to cover in this one. This is basically a documentary we're about to react to right here. Kyle Loam, thanks for the $4.99, dude. Will you ever cover Ethan Oliver Ralph? There's no good Ralph Docus out there. Well, I have covered Ralph. I've covered Ralph actually quite a bit on my channel, even though he's never been the main subject of discussion. But it's like I talk about a lot of sector related people, IBS related people, dissident right related people. And when you're talking about people like that, especially about stuff from like a decade ago, Ralph keeps coming up because people forget, and it's easy to forget because look at the state of them now. But back in the day, like during Gamergate in like a couple years in like the post Gamergate vacuum, Ethan Ralph was that nigga. He was one of the top guys in like this sphere. He got thousands of viewers per stream. He got tons of donation. People like Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes and Richard Spencer and James Allsup were coming on his platform trying to get clout from him. And it's true. He was that guy, right? So, and this is also why, you know, honestly, I'm kind of intimidated. This is why I keep biting off. Like, I have to make the Vickers video because if I do make a Ralph doc, the Vickers part would have taken up like a whole hour by itself. So it's almost like I have to divvy up these little sagas of Ralph before I can get to it. So if I ever do an Ethan Ralph doc, it doesn't end up being 4 or 5 fucking hours long. It'd be ridiculous. I really don't want to ever make a video where it's part 2, part 3, part 4. I guess I kind of did that with like Rich, but I'm covering like different stuff from different eras and sagas. If I do like a whole Ralph thing, it's going to be like, I gotta segment it almost into eras, and it would be insane. Basically, I'm not gonna lie. I am a little intimidated by all that Ralph Mail lore. It does get kind of ridiculous after a point. Okay, so getting to the Smash J2, we're gonna go ahead and watch this now, and we're gonna watch Rich seethe over Smash JT. All right.
Hey, who's ready to talk about another shameless grifter today? Smash
You guys tell me if the volume is too low, by the way.
JT, yeah.
I need money. I just do.
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. First and foremost, a couple shameless plugs. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to be going into DSP's most insane dent called PWR, or Pro Wrestling Reality. He had a pretty bizarre crash out recently.
This is already 30 seconds in, we're seeing a problem because it's like, we go over here. Let's see. We go to his lives. Let's go to his lives real quick. So yes, he did look at the PWR stream, and I'm like, why? Like, why would you? I mean, I guess it got decent, but like, it didn't even get that many good views. 7.5K compared to like his usual streams, which, you know, in Rich's defense, he does. I guess it didn't do that poorly, but it's like, it just seems like a waste to me. It's like, why would you even? Because you know what Rich didn't react to? You know what he didn't react to? He didn't react to the Sony, what the fuck was it? The State of Play. He didn't react to the State of Play. That's easy content. It's like how earlier this year, he didn't react to the Nintendo Direct. He didn't react to any of these like gaming events that are just easy content. There was so much content that came out of that Nintendo Direct. Niggas who reacted to the Direct were like looking at trailers and breaking them down and making like 3, 4, or 5 videos out of them and just posting them day by day. And he just like left that money on the table so he could talk about Phil again. It's ridiculous.
And I think it would be entertaining to take a look into. So 7:30 p.m. tonight, I will be streaming that.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, the PWR stream, it was entertaining, but it's like, damn, dude, stay in your lane. See, somebody like me, I can look at the PWR shit because my lane is like drama and like, I don't know, it's like, I got certain niches. I got like dissident right shit, sector shit, stuff like that, you know, just general drama. You actually have a lane. You actually have niches, and you just ignore your niches all the time. And that's the reason why you always get fucked over, because the algorithm doesn't know what the fuck to do with you. Does this guy do tech? Does he do gaming stuff? He keeps talking about ASMR. What is that about?
the link below in the description and top pin comment. And also, I have a new video up on my ASMR channel.
Oh yeah,
That's actually
I forgot about that.
talking
He
about
does shill the
Doom,
ASMR
the Dark
channel.
Ages, and I was playing it via cloud gaming on the retro.
How's that going, by the way? Let's see. What was it? There it is. Tech 25 ASMR. Okay, 2,000 after what's the oldest video? 5 months, almost half a year. Hasn't even broken 2,000 subs. He said this channel was supposed to break 1 million. This channel was supposed to break 1 million in how long? Can somebody tell? What was the specific time period he said he was gonna break 1 million with this channel again? Does anybody remember? Was it like a year or 2 years or whatever? Why does he have an ASMR channel? Because he's obsessed with it. He's obsessed with it. So he thought, hey, you know what? I'll make an ASMR channel and I'll take some effort I could be putting towards content people actually want to watch and put it towards this channel that may go fucking nowhere. That's the same thing he did with that music channel. Wait, does that channel still exist? That music channel, what was it? Rich Capo something. What was it? Rich, Young, Il Capo, I think it was. Il Capo, does that still? Yeah, no, is that it? No, it's not. Okay, anyway, Rich does shit like this. He'll have a hobby and he decides, you know, I'm gonna take this hobby and try and spin it into a whole project that I can make money off of, and then it goes nowhere. Like, nobody wants to hear ASMR from you, Rich.
Pocket Flip, you know, the product that Soulja Boy is going to be ripping off. I actually made a video about that. Check out the link below and the description in the top
he said 5 years
to my ASMR channel, and make sure you subscribe to Rich.
That's still way too short. The trajectory he's gonna need at least a decade or so.
Tomorrow,
maybe.
And also sub to my ASMR channel. Thank you so much. So I have talked about Smash JT for a while. I'm not even before he became a grifter, right? I always knew that he was just an opportunist. He tried to do the gaming thing, the gaming news thing on YouTube. It didn't work out, probably most likely because he sounds like a prepubescent boy. He also...
No, Rich is Italian. Rich is Italian, Cal. And he's one of those dudes. Well, I say one of those dudes. This is something almost every Italian American likes to brag about their Italianness, even if, you know, they don't like do anything. Like, the most Italian thing they do is maybe they eat spaghetti or pasta every once in a fucking while, but they're like, I'm Italian. It's like, okay, bro. Only Italian I've known who doesn't do that, who's like a YouTuber, is Keemstar. I recently found out Keemstar was Italian. For the longest time, I thought he was like, I don't know, part Jewish. Who knew?
Tried to make this comeback with the Intellivision Amico. He totally...
Yes, he is a New York Italian. New York, aka New Sicily.
Totally bought into it after taking a ride in Tommy Tallarico's Ferrari.
Now hold on. Wait. I know you didn't just say that.
Make this comeback with the Intellivision Amico. He totally bought into it after taking a ride in Tommy Tallarico's Ferrari.
Rich, you did that.
Invested $10,000 into it, and he would attack anybody, including me, when it was called out for being the piece of garbage that it was.
Okay, now see, this is something that Rich can only get away with because his old channel doesn't exist. This is possibly the only advantage that he gets from like his channel not being around anymore. Hold on, let me just put Amico, ReviewTechUSA. The only good thing from his channel is that he gets to say shit like this, and then it's like, hold on, where is... Oh, here it is. Jahi Goldenthal. This is one of my favorite. I really want to shout out whoever owns this channel, right? Because your archive shit helped me so fucking much when I was making that original documentary. Yeah, this is like an entire timeline of him being a shill for the Intellivision Amico and sucking Tommy Tallarico's dick to him eventually trashing it like everybody else. He was also a Tommy Tallarico dick rider. He gave this dude like 3 hours of free promotion on his site, giving him interviews where he didn't ask a single hard question. And he was on that ride too. That was part of the reason why he crashed out on Pat the NES part. He crashed out on Pat because Pat was calling him a shill, which he was, right? He was the shill. He even made an apology video about it, about being an Amico shill and not listening to everybody else. And here he is acting like he wasn't just like Smash JT. Just because you got off the ride a little bit earlier doesn't mean you weren't also a Tommy Tellerico dick rider.
And he like bailed ship at the 11th hour. He's like, yeah, you know what? Oh wow, everyone left this ship and got on the lifeboats. Yeah, you know, I saw it all along. The Amico was terrible. Yeah, I'm with you guys. At the very end. Good job, Jeff. Well,
That's what you
Jeff's
did.
new road to success actually worked for him, and it
Literally made an apology video, by the way, where the title of the video was something like, I'm sorry I failed you guys. It was a literal video he made because he was dick riding the Amico so hard.
was right-wing grifting. And I have been saying it for ages that this is completely disingenuous. He's just doing this to get internet clout. And luckily for him too, when he went in this right-wing direction, he ended up having that whole lawsuit happen that he is still involved in, and it's still pending with Alyssa Mercante, who used to work at Kotaku. So that helped Jeff turn into a martyr. You know, oh look, they're going after me for my anti-woke ideologies, and they're trying to stifle free speech. So that made him become the anti-woke right-wing darling to a degree. And here we are with Jeff. But I've told everyone from day one, he is full of crap and he is an opportunist, and he will do whatever he needs to do to garner relevancy. He needed to have a following for the sake of having a following, and he would.
Rich is going to project a lot. You know, like how he just said, how he just went off about Smash JT shilling for the Amico, just like he used to do. That was projection. He was telling on himself. But, you know, his dumbass audience, they don't know. A lot of them, well, I don't know about a lot of, but anyway, you know, he was lying, basically. He was lying and telling on himself. He's going to do this a lot. He's going to say a lot of things about Smash JT that are basically true of him, but Rich just isn't as good at it as Smash JT is, so he's seething. This whole video is basically Rich seething because Smash JT is better at being like a slop tuber gaming grifter than Rich is.
Do whatever he needed to do to get it. Well, here we are.
Gator159, thank you for the $5, bro. Your streams make good podcasts. Therefore, the longer streams are cool, and the creative man gets good ideas when he goes on unexpected tangents. Well, hey, thank you, man. I appreciate the compliment.
And people are finding out now that Jeff is full of crap, and previous Jeff, before the right-wing anti-grifter Jeff, would have probably hated the current Jeff, and people are finally seeing Jeff for who he is. Now, does this mean that his audience, who is captivated by him, who just wants to hear the things he has to say, are they going to actually hold him to task? I almost guarantee you not. But at least in the land of the sane, they're seeing through him. So what started all this where people are realizing that Jeff is full of crap? Well, there's shout out to this gentleman, K-Med, over on Twitter. And he actually posted this YouTube video. He said,
let me speed this up a little bit, because I thought, okay, this is going to be a short stream. We could just, but no, it's like, even then, he still tossed too slow. Let's crank it at 1.25, and we might crank it up to 1.5 after this. Sneedberger syndrome, and Dickers isn't a left-wing grifter because, well, Rich wants to be a left-wing grifter. He really does. That's why he keeps trying so hard with all these political videos, but they just don't take off because he's got nothing of worth to say. Anything that Rich has to say about politics, somebody else is saying, but with more charisma or like actual knowledge, right? Like a non-retarded person who's better at communicating says basically everything that takes Rich 30 minutes to say, but they can do it in 5.
sorted Smash JT's content on YouTube by date and found this old gem. The video discusses how women seem to need attractiveness to succeed on YouTube and how that's not right and unfortunate. Smash was different until he found a group to exploit for views. The anti-woke crowd is that group, and they fell for his grift. And here, I actually, here is, oh God, yeah, he's shirtless. I forgot about that part. Yep, he's shirtless for this video.
He even goes at the man for being sure. How is Review Tech US fucking say gonna talk about anybody else being unnecessarily shirtless in their fucking video? At least he's like, I don't know, he's got like what they call this, a dad bod, right? Like skinny fat. Well, he has like some definition, right? Like he looks like he does push-ups. Smash JT looks like he goes to the gym sometimes. He looks like he goes outside sometimes. He looks like a dad who like can be expected to like move furniture around the house or something like that when you need him to. Right? Rich is just he's all fucking gelatinous jelly, and he takes his shirt off every fucking video or stream.
So that's a thing. And here is what Jeff before the grift, here was his take on gamer girls.
That's where I feel like I have the most expertise. I spend most of my days on YouTube watching a lot of great content creators. And then this morning I woke up to see the Dalai Lama was trending. Why was he trending? Well, he said that if he's going to have a female successor, she needs to be attractive. That would be the most important part about it. And with that being the case, it got me wondering, why does that matter? Why is that important? Why does a girl need to be attractive to be the next Dalai Lama? Is it a marketing?
I don't know, Jeff. You tell me. The man who's losing his mind over Ghost of Yoite and how she looks and how it's not historically accurate. They just care it's a female character playing in the game. If it was a dude and it wasn't historically accurate, no one would care about that game. No one would be bothered by it. But old school Jeff would have sided with me on that. Here he is.
Thing is that they want to spread the word, and it's easier to do if the girl is attractive. It's just so many misfirings in my brain when I heard that. It kind of frustrated me. In fact, it pissed off a lot of people, and it got me thinking even more specifically about the realm that I'm living in on gaming YouTube. And that is with gaming YouTubers and what they have to look like and how do they grow their channel? What do they need to do? And when I go through every single creator that I know, I'm starting to go through the men, and then I start going through the women. And there is a fascinating trend that I see when it comes to gaming YouTubers. If you're a guy, it doesn't matter what the hell you look like. If you make good content, you're probably going to grow. And if you don't, you're probably...
He is obsessed with that Mario Odyssey hat. Dude, the game came out in 2017. He wears it in a lot of his streams, too.
probably not going anywhere.
And listen to this, Jeff. This Jeff was like, hey, you know, it's unfair how men could look like whatever the hell they want, but women have to look a certain way. Man, he was a much different human being. This was 6 years ago, but not too long ago. And then there's someone later who
What's that video? What's that video? I'm actually trying to think about it. I don't think it's like, I remember it was unlisted. It was a video of Rich following around some trans person in a grocery store or whatever. How many years ago was that? How many years ago was that between like Rich becoming a lefty or coming out as a lefty? I also remember he used to say faggot on stream. He called somebody a faggot once on stream. I don't remember when that was, but it's like, you're over here. This dude is just talking about how, oh, it's so unfair. It's so unfair that women are held to these unreasonable beauty standards and men aren't. You were literally stalking trans people in grocery stores for no reason. And I'm pretty sure the gap between like that and you becoming a lefty is shorter between the gap between this video and like Smash JT's current grifting period.
discusses how
Hold on, let me boost this up a little bit more. This dude, he babbles. Like, it's crazy, even in his edited videos, right? I saw this, and I saw it was like 40 minutes. I'm like, okay, so this is probably gonna be something, maybe it's a little compact. Maybe this is just a compilation of all his works. But no, it's just him doing commentary over like a bunch of bullshit for over half an hour. It's worthless.
a lot of people are defending Jeff, saying that, yeah, you know, people could change their opinions. Not like this. Not where their whole stances and ideologies completely change for a 180, almost like that. But wait, there's more. It gets worse for Jeff. So we see what he's really about here. And there's more to it than that. Now, this was actually after when George Floyd was killed. And this is what Smash wrote back then.
Oh, it was in a June doc? Okay, I'll be honest, I have never watched the June the King ReviewTechUSA doc. Not that I don't, not that I have anything against June. It's like, I just know that there's literally nothing that's gonna be in the doc that I haven't seen or didn't know about, right? Like literally nothing. Like his doc is shorter than mine. So I know there's nothing in the doc that I probably didn't put in mine. So yeah, I just never found a reason to look at it or whatever.
Talk about once again a 180. I will be participating in Blackout Tuesday tomorrow. No social media posting and hope to bring attention to police brutality and racial injustice. I agree with old school Jeff. I encourage everyone to do the same. BLM, hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag. And here, actually, we should check out his video on the George Floyd tragedy. Video unavailable. The video is private. Let me, here. You could see that there is the, for those of you who think that I'm making it up and showing another video. No, that's his video. You can see it right there. There, that is his video. I made sure to check the YouTube URL. It is private. Private. Why do you want it private, Jeff? Why? Because you know the audience that you have now that you cater to be a grifter, that they wouldn't like the fact that you supported Black Lives Matter. Maybe you're doing it for the interest of your business, but
for those of you who are wondering, why didn't Smash JT just delete the video? Well, that's because YouTube doesn't like it when you delete videos. It does something to the algorithm and it fucks with your recommendations and whatever, and how often your content gets suggested with people. It messes with your metrics and all this other, you know, background stuff if you delete a video, especially if you delete several. See, retards like the Quartering aren't aware of this, so the Quartering has done stuff where he's just deleted tons of videos, like dozens of videos, even though like his YouTube rep told him don't do that, he did it anyway. And then he complains about the algorithm. It only, instead of like suggesting my video to a gajillion people, it just suggests them to like half a gajillion now. Well, that's because you keep deleting your videos. Stop doing that, Jeremy.
The receipt is here. There's the receipt, Jeff. Much different guy. It's like he sold out because he really wanted YouTube relevance, but let's continue. So this one is amazing, right? So he had some Mulaka review. The main character of the game, this is from a while ago, was Mexican.
Is it sociopathic? Hold up. Is it sociopathic to post DMs I had with Rich? You were in Rich's DMs? Well, I don't know. I guess you kind of have to wait. You kind of have to wait for him to like do some bullshit, right? It's like if you share DMs, here's my thing about DMs. Here's my feeling on DMs, because I've also been in DMs with certain people that you guys wouldn't even believe I've been talking to. People who you would think, oh, Mikey, you gotta fucking spill that tea. You gotta show us. And I'm like, well, no, because it's like, even though I don't care for these type of people, you guys don't either. I feel like when you're in DMs with somebody, you know, it's a private conversation. It's like, it's almost like, you know, kind of kissing and telling in a sense, right? You don't want to just spill beans and just like build up the reputation for being, I don't know if you like, but here's the thing. If they do some fuckery, like if this person who I was in DMs with, if they end up like lying about something that we were talking about, or they just end up doing some bullshit, I'm 100% gonna drop DMs because I'm almost like obligated to at that point, right? Because they violated the unspoken agreement upon that people enter to when they get in DMs with each other first. So it's like, yo, it's like rules of warfare. Anything you do after the person shoots first is justified.
Decided to use blackface.
Well, that's not technically true because Geneva Conventions, but you guys get what I'm saying.
In the thumbnail. Now, so this is what this person wrote. So Smash JT edited his Mulaka blackface thumbnail to convince one of his followers that he was being smeared. One problem. He forgot to delete this original tweet from 2018 showing the exact same blackface thumbnail that everyone else has been showing. So here is Jeff trying to damage control with this, right? Apparently, according to him, this is blackface. He went and put a new thumbnail in. Here is the oopsie that he made, though. This is he still left the tweet up, which actually had the thumbnail with it. And there's the blackface. Here is him damage controlling and putting it up without the blackface later on. And just so you can see it up close, there is the blackface that Jeff is wearing that he tried to say that didn't exist. But wait, there's more. Oh yeah, there's more rich editing in post here. And shout out to YouTuber The Jostler. I'll have a link to his channel below and also in the top pinned comment. He gave me this banger from Smash JT where there is not a shadow of a doubt that the dude is racist.
Look, okay, I want to be 100% clear. I don't hate Indians. I know it's very in style today to just hate. I make my Indian jokes, but I make jokes about everyone. I don't like hate Indians in general. But if like just making an Indian poo joke or saying that this sort of stuff from like certain Indian cultures is like gross, is makes you like a super racist, then like almost everybody's a super racist now, because I can't think of anybody, like even liberals I've seen have been like, yeah, that's kind of gross. That's kind of weird, right? It's like, well, I'm sorry, Giga Todd Howard. I don't hate him that much. I'm sorry, right? But this shit, if saying that this specifically is like, man, that poo festival shit is kind of disgusting. If that makes you a racist, I don't know, man. I think that everybody's a racist. I think like 95% of the internet that isn't Indian is a racist. I think like most Western Indians would be racist because they would also like, disavow this shit.
Oh my God, this is amazing. So there is inside India's poop throwing festival. And he wrote, Indians are beyond disgusting. I'd be ashamed if this was my ancestry. Gross creatures. Now, keep in mind what you're seeing in India here is not a nationwide thing. It just happens in a village over there. So he's generalizing the whole population, racism, for something that goes on in a village. But I wonder if Jeff would have the same reaction here where white people are throwing around a bunch of turds. No, I'm not kidding. Take a look. Here it is. The cow chip throwing contest in Beaver, Oklahoma. I have never been more excited to throw poop. Sorry, I forgot I had to throw my headphones on for this real quick. Take a look.
I've never been more excited to throw poop in my whole life. No way. No way. This is a real thing.
If you throw it out of bounds, you have to clean up the field when it's over.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of good people here, and we have a blast.
A cow turd smells like money to us out here.
White people saying a cow turd smells like money to them out there. They're having a poop throwing contest, holding poop in their hands and throwing it, Jeff. Would you be ashamed to say those?
Surely you can see like the difference in context. Surely you can see the difference in context between this event right here, where it's like everybody. In fact, hold up, did you hear that?
Take a look.
I've never been more excited to throw poop in my whole life. No way. No way. This is a real thing.
First off, they're not like covering themselves in it, right? And they aren't throwing it. They aren't doing like a snowball fight with the poo, for one.
If you throw it out of bounds, you have to clean up the field.
And you heard that? If you throw it out of bounds, you gotta clean it up. Cleaning it up is like a part of the event. Like the loser has to clean it up. I've never heard that from like this poo throwing festival anytime I've seen clips from it.
When it's over.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of good people here, and we have a blast.
Like I don't see anybody like caked in it. I don't see people rolling in it. I don't see people throwing it out of people's faces and shit. I mean, this is still gross. Throwing...
Take a look.
I've never been more excited to throw poop.
Throwing cow shit, like even in a like more sanitary form, still pretty gross. But still, you have to understand like the contextual difference between these two things, Rich.
In my whole life. No way.
A lot of good people here.
And a cow turd smells like money to them out there. They're having a poop throwing contest, holding poop in their hands and throwing it, Jeff. Would you be ashamed to say those white people are part of your ancestry? Or because they're white, you give them a pass because they're Americans? I think I know the answer to that. Jeff is also pro-political violence, too. Now, this is something that took place in Lausanne, Switzerland.
What?
A car.
What? Hold on.
The answer to that. Jeff is...
Did he like... Why is he changing clothes in between clips? How long did it take him to like record this? How come he couldn't... Here's the thing. ReviewTechUSA only has a handful of outfits. He only has like 3 shirts that he can never keep on. And he has like 2 or 3 hoodies. Somehow, even though, I don't know, I guess he's like recording this either at different times or on different days, he can't just keep the same like outfit on all throughout the whole video. It's not a big deal, but it's just little shit like that. It's just, Rich has no sense for editing. He has no sense for editing. He has no sense for quality. He has no sense for timing. He has no sense for anything. All he can do is just blabber into a mic for like a 10-minute video or for an 8 to 12 hour stream. And he can't even do that very well, right? The state of Rich's channel right now, honestly, is where he always was meant to be. Rich got lucky. Rich got super fucking lucky early in his career. Because 1, he was so early that there was no competition to get in his way. And 2, he got blessed by the algorithm just enough times, and he also had Jay doing all the editing for him. And all these fortunate coincidences combined in order to get him up to 1 million subs under like ordinary circumstances where he didn't have those little bits of luck on his side. He was always meant to be about the size that he is right now. What we're seeing right now is like ReviewTechUSA's actual potential without anything like helping him. This is what this is. He's about barely a little bit higher than Phil, is where Rich is always meant to be.
History, or because they're white, you give them a pass because they're Americans? I think I know the answer to that. Jeff is also pro-political violence, too. Now, this is something that took place in Lausanne, Switzerland. A car deliberately rammed into a pro-Palestinian demonstration during the moment of silence in Lausanne, Switzerland. I think I actually said that right. No one was injured. The driver has reportedly been arrested. Now, this is the guy, remember, who was losing his mind because I dared to question, which everyone is now, Erica Kirk and her fake mourning and her fake, sad, fake tear grift, calling for political violence and applauding them. They should have been giving the Medal of Honor. And someone wrote to him back, no, if he was being attacked, then yes, he should get away fast, but just driving into protesters, no. He should be arrested and charged with attempted murder. Bad take, Smash. People sitting in the street should be arrested. So he's actually encouraging political violence. Man, what a difference, huh? Black Lives Matter, right, Jeff? Here he is mocking people that got laid off and saying that they're not human. Don't believe me? Here it is. Unemployed man judges employed people for getting laid off. Lots of body type A's.
See, this is something that always bothers me. This is something I had I didn't have a discussion. There was somebody said earlier today, I think it wasn't Smash JT, it was Dreamcast Guy. Dreamcast Guy was talking about how it's so over for Xbox. They're gonna close doors. And then some dude, some fucking weenie, quote tweeted Dreamcast Guy. And he was like, I can't believe this guy is so sick at how excited he is at people losing their jobs. Look, dude, the jobs of people who are bad at their jobs and who are making video games that I used to care about worse is not my responsibility. If these people were like that, if these people were that necessary, if they were that good at their jobs, they wouldn't be part of the wave of people getting laid off any fucking way. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think that there are actually too many people working in the games industry right now. The games industry is bloated as fuck. You got all these people who apparently are just there to like actually make games worse. Like you have entire departments now at some of these AAA studios where they just have consultants who, from what I can see, their only job is to make games worse. Just like say, hey, see that bitch? Make her uglier. Hey, see those guys? I don't know, make them gay or make them brown or make them gay and brown. Hey, you see this? Put like yellow streaks all over the walls or all over the floors because we got people who are retarded and play video games like Dark Side Phil and we need something to hold their hands. They're just entire departments dedicated to doing stuff like that. So why should I care that these people get laid off? Okay? That's not my responsibility. Blame the CEO, not me.
He's there in case you were wondering how he really felt to be looking for new jobs. He says, generous, you call them people. And someone replied back, that's what mammals that can support their...
Sneedburger, thank you for the €5. Dickers only has 2 or 3 changes of clothes, either because he has no money for more clothes or he spends the money on other things. See, I think it's mostly just because he's so fat. He's fat and he's lazy, so he would have to go shopping for like things that are in his specific size, right? And it's just easier for him to just find one of those, like a big shirt, a big super extra large black shirt that doesn't look too gross when he puts it on, than it is for him to like go to a tailor that would actually like get him some clothes designed for his size or whatever. I think that's what it is. He is poor though. He does have no money.
Families without a GoFundMe or call. K-Man wrote back to him, damn. Now, if you're wondering what they're talking about with the GoFundMe, well, here is Jeff's GoFundMe. I think it got paused or because it got reported. Here he got $6,410. I'm not sure if he actually received this money because the donations were paused, and I believe it was because it was reported. But if you thought that Jeff's grifting was done there, this is Give, Send, Go. This is actually the same crowdfunding website that Remember that woman, Shiloh Hendricks? There was a little kid at a playground. It was a little black boy. I believe he was autistic, and she called was being very racist towards him.
Nigga, you still seething about that? Like, who actually cares? Like, that's not even like, I don't understand, right? It's like, you say, well, it's rude to say that. Okay, but look, nigga, nobody got shot. This isn't like, it's not even something like a police shooting or something like that. It's like some white woman called a little black kid okay, that was rude. And it is kind of weird that she just like got $1 million for it. But like, why are you seeing it about? Like, it was nothing.
That's the one who actually put up crowdfunding on.
And what is Gifts in Goal? Because Gifts in Goal is just doing what it was supposed to do, which is just make sure that people get the money that's donated to them. That's their problem. They're just doing it. It's not their responsibility. They're just the middlemen who are giving people money that's donated. It's not their responsibility. So long as like she wasn't going to commit an act of terrorism with it, it's not their fucking responsibility to do anything about it.
Give, Send, Go, and she made close to like $790,000. This is the same place that he's using. Are you starting to see a trend with Jeff? He made here over $73,000. So that's what they're talking about with this GoFundMe. This is to fund his legal case where he has a very high-profile lawyer named Ron Coleman, who's also a...
Yes, that was kind of weird, that dude who was just hanging around that children's playground. I initially thought that, okay, is he related to the kid? And then I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, oh, why is he there?
Wing grifter. I'm sure that's just a complete coincidence. I'll show that to you later. This is what they were talking about with his crowdfunding. So Jeff got plenty of money there. So I almost forgot to show you this banger here. This is also what got a lot of people's attention to. Here is his review of The Last of Us 2. If you remember, whether it was the Quartering or countless other people that were losing their minds about The Last of Us 2, and Neil Druckmann, who was the director of the game, they were calling him Neil Cuckman. So, you know, if Jeff from 2025 would have been
Neil
all
Cuckman.
Over this game.
That is correct. That is the correct name for Neil Druckmann, is Neil Cuckman, the dude who cucked Naughty Dog, one of the greatest studios that, well, I don't know. Be fair, Naughty Dog cucked Naughty Dog. But they did make a mistake by giving Neil Druckmann as much power as he had. They absolutely... You know who really got cucked? They cucked Amy Hennig. You actually have a woman, one of the few. You have all these women now in gaming who we're supposed to praise for, I don't know. You got all these women in gaming who we're supposed to give praise to because they tell us how sexist and how racist everything is, and they keep trying to make games gay. You had a woman, an actual woman in the games industry, who actually is responsible, Amy Hennig, actually responsible for making good games, right? Somebody who actually has credentials, somebody who was actually a vet of the industry, who's actually made some good-ass games, you know, Uncharted, Legacy of Kain, you know, somebody who actually she was actually a good writer, unlike Neil fucking Druckmann, who always just rolled off other people's coattails and got credit for their work. She actually could write a good script, and they just, you know, they stole Uncharted from her, basically, and just gave it to Neil so he could soyify it and make it worse and gayer. And they just told her to kick rocks and shit. Literally, she went into a meeting with the bosses of Naughty Dog, and then, like, she walked out, and she wasn't in charge of the Uncharted project anymore. She was gone. It's a sad story, but for some reason, you know, we aren't supposed to celebrate. We're supposed to look the other way while fucking women who are actually not qualified to even be in the roles they are in the industry, they get all this praise and shit. It's so fucked up, man.
Last of Us Part 2 if it was released today. So how did Jeff from 2020 feel about The Last of Us 2? Obviously, right? He's anti-woke, so he would hate it. No, it's one of his favorite games of all time. And I know he still is defending that to this day, but what were his take on people hating the game because of all of the anti-woke stuff that they were crying about? The game was too woke for him. How did Jeff feel about this? Well, here is a super cut for you. Enjoy.
I feel like some people are just not being fair with the game because they're going in with a predisposition or a bias that they don't like something about the game, whether it be lesbian stuff. Like, who cares? Like, whatever.
Who cares? This is the guy that was wholeheartedly agreeing with far-right grifting gaming YouTube. He had a fallout with Ackman. He struck down his videos, so on and so forth, who was agreeing with Andy Pants Gaming. And Jeff was reacting to Andy Pants Gaming. Now, keep in mind, Andy Pants Gaming lost custody of his child because he made some weird anti-woke video game where it had AI artwork because it was the girl in the game was representing Andy Pants Gaming's kid, where they had AI child corn corn on the cob in the video game. And Jeff was sitting there reacting to his video in his own video. Yeah, man, he's right about the war on.
Rich kind of described it poorly, but basically what he just said about Andy Pants Gaming is basically correct. There was this part of the game where like there was this he basically made a character in the game that was supposed to be his daughter that was being sexualized in the game, and this was used against him in court, and the reason why he lost custody. And he cried on social media about it, and he got some people like coming to his defense, right? He's like, man, that's fucked up how the system, it never gives fathers a shot. And then everybody start learning the reason about why he lost the custody, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, your wife actually probably does deserve custody over you doing that weird ass shit.
Man, that's a real good person to be advocating for, Jeff. Don't believe me about Andy Pants Gaming? You can check it out.
I saw this video show up on my feed and I started watching it earlier, and I'm like, man, this is actually such a good video, and it is very applicable to a lot of things that I talk about on this channel. So I actually want to react to it. This is
Hold on, how old is that? Is that a new video? Is that
a video called
let me get the context first.
Stop Noticing the War on Men by Andy Pants. Let's see what he has to say about the war on men.
Guys, I'm gonna need y'all to stop noticing some things. Stop noticing that Nathan Drake and Sully were replaced by girl bosses. Stop noticing that a small black woman single-handedly beat the shit out of Nathan and Sam. Stop noticing that the developer of the ultra-based Killzone games now makes games about a fat, dog-ugly lesbian who definitely drives a Jeep Wrangler. Stop noticing that one of the best characters of all time, Jin Sakai, was replaced
That was a great line about the Jeep Wrangler right there.
with a butch lesbian who raises a child with another woman, an action that God hates.
Hold on, let me see. Is this a new video? Because if so, that is an L. That is an L for Smash JT. Stop Noticing the War on Men. Let's see. Andy Pants Gaming. This is... Well, it was 3 weeks ago. Hold up. Yeah, it was about a month ago. I feel like that's just enough time. I feel like it's narrow. That's just enough time to react to a video, but then like be able to disavow the person. Like about a month.
Stop noticing that angry masculinity personified, Kratos, was replaced with the cuck of war who isn't even the main character in his own story anymore. Stop noticing that a muscly arm...
I don't mind Andy Pants at all, by the way. I'm subscribed to him. I watch his videos. Hell, like I said, this came up on my feed and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I just know he gets a lot of backlash online, we'll say.
A message from YouTuber The Act Man regarding Andy Pants Gaming losing custody of his daughter.
Okay,
His daughter has
wait. What's the context for it? When did we see that video? Because I'm trying... Okay, people say... Yo, I'm coming to Smash JT's defense a little bit here, right? Just a little bit. I want to see. I want to give him a shot. I want to give him a shot because I'm like, what is this video? I don't see a time. Let's see. Stop. No. Okay, this says 9 hours ago. So this is literally whenever this was taken was almost a month ago. So I feel like this is a bit misrepresentation. Excuse me. Rich is misrepresenting this right here. This is almost a month ago, Rich.
I saw this video show up on my feed and I started watching it earlier, and I'm like, man,
like he literally just saw this on a day, right?
Girl bosses. Stop noticing that a small black woman single-handedly beat the shit out of Nathan and Sam. Stop noticing that the developer of the ultra-based Killzone games now makes games about a fat, dog-ugly lesbian who definitely drives a Jeep Wrangler. Stop noticing that one of the best characters of all time, Jin Sakai, was replaced...
That was a great line about the Jeep Wrangler right there.
...with a butch lesbian who raises a child with another woman, an action that God hates. Stop noticing that angry masculinity personified, Kratos, was replaced with the cuck of war who isn't even the main character in his own story anymore. Stop noticing that a muscly arm...
I don't mind Andy Pants at all, by the way. I'm subscribed to him. I watch his videos. Hell, like I said, this came up on my feed and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I just know he gets a lot of backlash online, we'll say.
A message from YouTuber The Act Man regarding Andy Pants Gaming losing custody of his daughter. His daughter has thankfully been taken away from him, which I'm glad. I'm surprised no big channel has been covering the situation. Then again, it's a damn if you do or damn if you don't. Damn, because they would be giving Andy the attention he desires and might make the situation worse for his daughter, or don't, because he'll get away with horrible things like this.
Unbelievable. But let's continue. Let's see what...
Yeah, I feel like he misrepresented that. Because again, it's like, it's not something... To be fair, I didn't know about it. I literally didn't know about it until like about a week or so ago when I saw the post by Ackman. I didn't know about it. And I don't think Rich knew about it either. I feel like Rich is really misrepresenting this. I feel like Smash JT doesn't know the lore because Smash JT is also a father. And I feel like if he knew the Andy Pants lore, right, about why he really lost custody of his daughter, he wouldn't have said it in like that one clip. And also I feel like if he was feeling Andy Pants the way he says he is, Rich would have more than that one specific clip from almost a month ago to use against him. I'm gonna give Smash JT the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say this is ignorance. I'm just gonna say he didn't know. Because to be fair, most people didn't know. It took that one semi-viral post where Andy Pants is crying about like losing custody of his daughter. And Atman came in and he's like, no, let me tell you guys why he lost custody of his daughter.
2020 Last of Us Part 2 reviewing Jeff Tarzia has to say about the game, and it's it being too woke.
Like I said in my previous video, Ellie had a very jaded past, so it's kind of to be expected that her whole decision-making, what's good and what's okay and what's not, it might be a little bit against what's socially normal or what's considered that this day and age. I feel like some people have this expectation that this is how life should work, and any game that isn't that is trying to push a narrative on me, and I'm not accepting of that because that's not what I believe in. Give me a freaking break. Like, honestly, that is one of the most driving me insane things that I could even think of. Play the game, and if you enjoy it, great, and if you don't, okay, at least you gave it a shot. But people...
Man, this Jeff should actually talk to Jeff of 2025 and tell him to say the same things about Ghost of Yotei. Jeff from 2025 is desperate to make that game seem like it's not selling. Cole Moriarty taught you otherwise, though. But now, because he steamrolled Jeff in that video, Cole Moriarty formerly used to work for IGN, and he went on there and he went on Jeff's show with Jeff to be like, dude, you know, you could feel however you want.
Formerly used to work for IGN isn't like, you know, that isn't the signifier that Rich thinks it is. That's not the whole. I don't give you respect just because you used to work at IGN for a long time. It's like Alyssa McConaughey, whose asshole he also kisses because she's a woman who gives Rich attention, gives Rich positive attention. And as we all know, Rich will do anything for a crumb. Alyssa McConaughey, she used to work at Kotaku, which is even lower on the totem pole than fucking IGN. And I'm supposed to like, just because you were a game journalist at a professional shill machine, that doesn't mean I'm supposed to care about your opinion.
About the game, but numbers are numbers.
It's not like you were an actual developer.
He destroyed him. And then Jeff turned around and said he's not a real conservative. Why? Because he's not in your cult of affirmation, Jeff. He's not in your cult of fantasy. But what's interesting is 2020 Jeff would have sided with 2025 Colin Moriarty being like, dude, you have to go by the numbers. And hey, if you don't like a game, you don't have to play it.
They're saying it's a bad game. No, it's just not for you. That's what this game is.
Yeah, Colin Moriarty, he's one of the early dudes to call gamers entitled because they didn't like the ending to Mass Effect 3.
This is one of the great...
You know, in hindsight, Mass Effect 3 was overall a pretty good game. That doesn't mean that the ending that they gave, because it's like, it's easy to go back now and say that because you weren't. If you were somebody who played the game, who played the trilogy from the first game to the second game to the third, and you had all these years where you were super deep in the Mass Effect and you were playing and replaying the games, and then you got your hands on 3, and then after all that, you got that ending. Yeah, of course you would be super upset, right? You would be super, because you were too invested. You were too locked in. The disappointment was way too high for the amount of investment you had put in at that point. You had emotional investment into the story, into Shepard, into all his companions and shit. And then that's how it ends? Just a couple buttons, nigga? For real? But no, it's like, looking back, I can look back. No, it was a pretty good game. Maybe people were like being a bit histrionic, but no, that shit that Colin Moriarty said, that was some fuck shit. You don't say that. Like, I don't understand why journalists, especially at that period, well, they still are, but especially at that period, were so hostile to gamers. They were so hostile to the people who were basically keeping the lights on.
Greatest games in the history of video games ever. I feel like people need to remove all their predispositions and biases going into these games and grow up, enjoy the experience for what it is being presented to you as the...
Mikey, did you hear that Trump had sex with Bill Clinton? Who didn't Trump have sex? Who didn't Trump have sex with? I swear, every other month or so, I find out this nigga was fucking somebody else.
Gamer, because once you do that, once you let go,
he's
of
beating
all of
Bill
those stresses,
Clinton's
all those
record,
things
really.
Just like, oh my god, this...
What's amazing about this now is literally he is the antithesis of this. He wants you to be stressed out about this. He wants you to be angry about this because that gets him engagement. So the same things he's telling you to not be angry about, and if you don't like it, just don't buy the game. He wants you to lose your mind over this stuff because that to him gets him more subscribers, gets him more views, and is profitable. And plus, like I said, he has a very big yet fragile ego. So having all these people be in his cult is filling the void that's whatever the hell is missing in his life. I don't know. Maybe he has daddy issues, but let's continue.
This is how I want the game to be. It should be like this. Once you let go...
What is it with daddy issues? This dude says daddy issues so... Like, that's always his go-to. That's his go-to taunt. That's his go-to insult. Is it's daddy issues or it's virgin. It's daddy issues, it's virgin, and it's you need therapy. This is what I mean about projection, right? I feel like Rich is the one with daddy issues. I think there's a reason. Well, no, because I can't say it. It's not like who we talk about. Burger Planet, the guy we were talking about at the beginning of the last stream, where he was talking about how his dad abused him and just viciously beat his ass every other day. Obviously, that didn't happen to Rich because he still lives with his dad. He still relies on his dad. I feel like he's always, I don't know, he like lives in this stage of knowing that his dad has always been disappointed in him, because who wouldn't? Like, look at this dude. I'm pretty sure Rich's dad, we've seen Rich's father a couple times, and he's always looked younger than Rich. Younger than Rich. He gave this nigga a house for like, he basically got shortcutted. He and his wife, they gave Rich basically a house at a better deal than he ever could have hoped otherwise, and he just completely fucked their investment, fucked their retirement. Their grandkids probably aren't gonna have any generational wealth passed on to them and shit. So I think he's the one who has the daddy issues.
That and just enjoy it. Let the game come to you and just play it for what it is. I think you might be a little bit surprised with how much you enjoy what these games have to offer. Vocal minority of just tons of people.
The vocal minority of tons of people. You are now that vocal minority. You are now that vocal minority, Jeff, of where you're trying to make people outraged about something that it's the last thing that they should be worrying about right now. You don't like the game, fine, don't buy it. You have turned into, well, I don't think you really stand for anything. You were just doing whatever you needed to do to get clout. But you are the antithesis now of everything you used to be not too long ago, over and over and over again, too. It's not like this is one take that you had like this. You were a completely, I proved it here with screenshots and evidence, a completely different person. But I know what you were thinking. You felt that you were entitled to have relevance on YouTube.
Why can't he just change his mind? Because again, we saw, and again, you guys say that he was like following that trans person in the grocery store clip. That was in the June the King doc. We have like evidence, and it's like in a big ass documentary of him being weird about the LGBT. Well, he's still weird. He's been making these weird gay jokes. Rich thinks that being gay is hilarious. Rich is one of those guys who thinks that being gay is the funniest fucking thing you could ever be ever. Like, he thinks being gay, like, for him, he thinks being gay is the punchline, basically. Right? And he saw, like, a trans person in this fucking grocery store, and he's like, look at this fucking clown just walking around. Look at this nigga in a dress just walking around this store. Fucking weirdo. And just recording him with his camera like he's documenting a gazelle in the savannah or whatever. Right? That's how you used to be, Rich. But then you're gonna talk about Smash JT. And I don't know, he was feeling Black Lives Matter back in 2020, but then he changed his mind. Why can't he change his mind? Like, you changed yours. He became a right-wing gaming grifter. You became a lefty gaming grifter. It's the same shit, just in different directions.
You thought that people didn't take you seriously, and now you're also doing your vengeance tour with this. You wanted to become a grifter to get the viewership. You went down that route to get the viewership. You also used being a martyr because of the whole Melissa Mercante thing to gain traction. And now, hey, you don't care how you get the views. You don't care how you get the relevance. You don't care about anything. You just want that. It's so gross, man.
Tons of people, 10,000 or so, negative reviews on Metacritic, just review bombing us to hell because they hate Naughty Dog, they hate how they employ the company and how they treat their employees, or whatever it is, or they don't like the director Neil Druckmann, or whatever the reason is, had very little to do, in my opinion, with the actual game. The game is great. It truly is. Now, I've had plenty of people tell me, like, oh, you know, I watched the storyline on YouTube and it just wasn't for me. That's fine. But I truly do encourage everybody to play this game. Give it a chance. Maybe not right now. Wait for it to go down in price if you feel like it's not for you. But eventually, give it a shot. You might surprise yourself and actually enjoy it because you didn't listen to other people. You didn't just watch a video online and think, oh, okay, yeah, that's what that game is.
Oh my God. It's amazing. Just because you watched the video online, this is the guy now who watch my videos online and listen to me and be outraged with me. 2020, Jeff, was like, make your own decision. Don't go by the videos online. Anyway, all right, I'll play the last 7 seconds because you can't say that. You didn't play the whole thing.
Give it a chance. You might like it. And I will forever be perplexed why people don't like this game.
Because now anti-woke grifters like you brainwash them into being angry and hating things that they could either just ignore or...
What do you mean brainwashed? Like, hey, what do you mean brainwashed, right? Like, I always thought, and maybe this is just because, like, I mean... From Rich's perspective, it makes sense because, as I've shown earlier, Rich's fans are retarded. They don't have brains. They're easily manipulated. Rich can basically tell or lie to them about. He basically has his version of Phil's dents. They will follow him no matter what. They will always lean on his every word, right? So he probably does think that you can just brainwash people into believing something. Most people who watch Smash JT videos, they already believe the thing, and they just go and watch Smash JT's videos because he's telling them the thing they already believe and want to hear. That's how these sorts of grifting channels. See, Rich doesn't even know how this works. That's why he's so fucking bad at it, right? You pick an audience, you pick a lane, and then you like find a way to make slop of that, like just tells people what they want to hear. Yeah, like a hug box. You just make a hug box channel and you just keep like printing out videos and shit and streams and whatnot. And then people come and they're like, hey, this guy has the opinion that I already have. Let me come here and listen to him tell me about why this game that I already thought was woke trash is woke trash like I already thought it was. That's how these things work. Rich doesn't understand how this works. This is why he barely gets any views on his new shit now. He doesn't even understand how to grift properly. This is why I say a lot of this just comes down to jealousy. He wishes he could grift as efficiently as Smash JT does.
Jeff. So Jeff's lawyer, his defense lawyer, who he hired, or however they met, something is very interesting about Jeff's lawyer, Ron Coleman. He kept on mentioning, like, whenever he talks about updates with his legal case, that because he's getting sued by Alyssa Mercante, he keeps on bringing up his lawyer. And I'm like, that's, I mean, even if you have a qualified lawyer, bringing up the lawyer, what's going on here? So I decided there's more that needs to be done, right? But I decided to look into this lawyer. And the thing I noticed, because I'm like,
hold up. This is the most stereotypical Jewish lawyer I've ever seen. Wait, is that a lawyer? Is that guy a lawyer? I just know that he's like, before I even saw, right? Like I peeked the small hat, right? Like I already had a feeling. Is he? I'm like, yeah, no, this is a tribe, man. This is a dude. If he is a lawyer, I already know he's good at his fucking job.
There's more that needs to be done, right? But I decided
this is the type of dude you hire when you're in divorce. This dude could have gotten Andy Pants Gaming. He could have helped Andy Pants Gaming keep custody of his daughter.
To look into this lawyer. And the thing I noticed,
he should have hired somebody like that.
So I could look into him.
Oh, he is a lawyer. He is a lawyer. Yeah, that's right. He's got the lawyer look. He's got the type of look. As soon as you look at him, right? His clients are like, I know I'm safe. I know I'm good. Whatever. If this guy is Smash JT lawyer, he's about to beat Alyssa Mercante's ass. That bitch don't stand a chance.
Thing I see is he almost has 300,000 followers on X, Twitter. I'm like, that's interesting. It's obviously this guy isn't just a, private lawyer that's well-versed in defamation, which I'm sure there's plenty of lawyers just as qualified as this guy that could have handled it. But this guy is a fairly interesting dude because he himself is also a right-wing grifter. You don't believe me? Check out these bangers. So he has a podcast called Culmination, and he had on, where is the gentleman here? Larry Schweikart, who is a retired professor of history and a co-author of a New York Times bestseller, A Patriot's History in the United States. That's great. That's him right there. Well, when Democratic Representative Beto O'Rourke was up for re-election, here is what he said. This is a complete lie. Hearing two buses near Texas border stopped with Beto signs full of illegals, each had $100 and were headed to the polls. He made this up. And anyway, so Rich, why are you talking about this guy? Well, Ron Coleman platformed him, a guy who is a known liar, and they're sitting here. Listen to what they're talking about. Enjoy.
Again, ReviewTechUSA, he hold on. I know they exist. I remember seeing a ReviewTechUSA, hold on, let me see. Tommy Tallarico. I remember seeing an archive channel. See? 12 videos.
The Exposed podcast is available in
1 hour. 1 hour interview. 1 hour interview.
And it's so silky smooth and clean. And that, and I'm barely touching it too. Like if you can see from the side, I'm like just barely, so it's like, perfect. And so when we saw this in and we put it in, we said, you know what, we have to go with this. So
just one lion ass Italian lying to another lion ass Italian for an hour. And he did this like 3-4 times. Oh, this is the video, by the way, I was talking about.
No, this isn't click.
the I failed all of you and I'm sorry video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I was shilling so hard for Tommy Tellerico. I'm so sorry. He put me under his mind control. He took me in a ride in his sports car and I just couldn't say no. He put his hand on my thigh and shit, and I wanted to fight him off, but I couldn't. He just looked me dead in my eyes, and it's like, okay, Tommy, I'll shill for the Amico. I'll do it. So it's like, you're talking about somebody else platforming a liar. Who gives a fuck, dude?
Support him. Well, so I think what you're describing here is that they're the creation of bubbles, of ideological bubbles.
Yes, it's all Italians. All Italians. They're in every institution.
The New York Times.
Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to bring up the Italian question. They won't talk about the IQ. They'll talk about the JQ all day. The IQ? Nah.
The network, late night TV, and the universities. So they maintain capture of these institutions and these bubbles, and they're no longer realizing that they're the 20%ers, and therefore they're not cognizant of the fact that it's not just a matter of I don't know anyone who voted for Nixon. Right. They don't know anyone. I mean, and this is literally true. They don't know anyone. They don't understand. I get this question all the time from old friends on Facebook. Ron, how could you support Trump? Why the hell wouldn't I support Trump? What has Trump done?
Support him. Let's see, starving millions of kids that are on SNAP, illegal deportations, increasing our healthcare premiums to obscene amounts, taking millions of Americans off of healthcare with their new Medicaid cuts. I don't know, Ron. I could give you a whole bunch of other stuff too. That's just the beginning, though.
But there is this illusion because of our participation in the culture that is presented to us by these institutions that we are a shrinking minority and that they're taking over. I mean, you're
a shrinking minority because everyone hates your ideas and values, and they're tired of the system being rigged to benefit the top 1%. But I digress. I don't want to make this super political, but I guess what's going on.
My bad. Got a call.
With Smash JT, you kind of can't help it. But I just, anyway, I'll stop talking for a second.
Stack these up, and it's just astounding to see what's about to fall on these people. Trump has been magnificent in defunding the left, but now they're actually costing them a lot of money, and Trump is now going after the money in the university systems, saying, nope, can't teach woke DEI garbage. You're supposed to be teaching real subjects here. If you're going to do that, we'll just take away your federal funding.
Just going to be teaching real subjects. I'm sure they're outraged by this. I want to verify this. Are they looking to implement?
What does this have to do? Like, what does this have to? How does this really like incriminate Smash JT in anything? This is such a terrible, like, simply as somebody who has done several, I guess you could say, I like to try and call what I do like mockumentary style videos, right? Mockumentaries, in that I'm telling the truth, right? I've never lied about anybody. I would never lie on anybody. I wouldn't even lie on motherfuckers I hate. I would never tell a lie about Rich or Nick Fuentes or Laura Loomer or anybody, right? Like, I would never do that. But I do make fun of them, like, insanely. I try and make as much fun of them as I can while also, like, telling all of their lore and, like, making exposed videos. And as somebody who's made several of those, this is a terrible version of that. You aren't really like exposing this guy in any way that's going to alienate his audience or make people who are neutral hate him even more. You're not really hitting the points. You're not hammering the points. Like, anybody who's not a leftist who already didn't hate Smash JT isn't gonna watch this and go, damn, I really hate this nigga now. This dude is trash. Corruption Point, thank you for the $2, bro. Yo, why is he so obsessed with Smash JT? That's a very good question. And the reason why I say jealousy is because there's really no other reason for him to, like, hate Smash JT this much. 8-Bit Eric, I understand. Keemstar, I understand. The Kino Casino, I understand. King Sly, I understand. I don't understand why he hates Smash JT so much. Smash JT isn't one of his top ops. He doesn't A-log Rich that much. Does he laugh at Rich? Yeah, but everybody fucking laughs at Rich now. He's like an actual lolcow. He's like an official lolcow. It's like Boogie getting mad at everybody who points and laugh at him. That's what happens when you're a lolcow. People point and laugh at him. So yeah, I just think he hates Smash JT because he's jealous that he's figured out how to do the partisan grifter gamer slop tuber thing better than him, and it like makes his ass hurt.
Yes, there is an effort to implement PragerU in schools, with some states already approving the use of its content in classrooms. PragerU is right-wing, literally right-wing.
Oh yeah. And Alyssa Mercante too. Thank you, Dam Yoshin. Yeah, it's also Melissa Mercante. He's very partial towards her because again, you have a woman who's like giving Rich positive attention and says, "Oh, Rich, you're such a great guy," and she's not fat, right? She's not a non-fat woman is giving ReviewTechUSA positive attention. Of course he's gonna try and Milady and White Knight for her. Of course he's gonna do that.
Propaganda. Like states like Florida, Oklahoma, notice the band of states here. Arizona and New Hampshire have allowed teachers to use PragerU materials, though they are often supplemented, not required. In Oklahoma, the state superintendent is also using a PragerU developed exam to screen.
No, Mr. Crazy Attire, Rich is not a creep that cheats on his wife because he's never had a wife. He's never married Lauren. I don't even think they were ever really engaged for real. Rich can't commit to anything, including a long-term relationship. He basically kept that bitch in relationship purgatory. Lauren has basically been trapped in a situationship with Richard for basically as old as their kids, a little bit older, maybe as old. The situationship between Lauren and Rich is about as old as Rich's now deleted channel. So about 15 years. 15 to 10 years of him pretending like he was going to commit to her and never doing it.
Teachers for certain ideologies, but that they want to defund DEI.
Even
but this
Phil
propaganda
can
pushing this
marry
forward
a
is
fat
perfectly
bitch.
fine.
He's not threatening to close universities, which is interesting, though Trump is going after their money sources too, and those are drying up.
No, she's not even a live-in girlfriend because she doesn't live with Rich. Rich doesn't live with his kids. They just come over every once in a while.
So these bubbles have gone from being like cellophane to becoming iron domes.
Well, he's the tier above a deadbeat. He's not a low-tier god, but he's in like the region of deadbeatdom.
Of resistance by these people who still believe they're in the majority.
Well, also, Ron Coleman, Jeff Slayer once again, had on Ian.
Oh, Dust Diesel, thank you for the €5. Oh, that's €5. That means that when I said the other time, it was actually pounds he gave me. Okay, I got to get used to this international currency. Sorry for the poverty donation, but I'm saving for some shit. Bro, don't you worry about that shit. I appreciate you donating at all. Hope this buys you a drink or coffee. I appreciate your content, man. Keep it up. Well, thank you, brother.
Miles Chong, who is a far right-wing political commentator. He was talking about how they're shadow bans on X, and then I'll show you a little bit of a backstory from Ian Miles Chong in some of his banger takes that he posted on Twitter. But watch this.
Again, how does this tie? Because now he's just talking about this dude. Now he's talking about
addressed.
Now he's talking about this Jewish lawyer. You know, a little anti-Semitic. What's your problem? What is there a reason why you're focusing on this Jewish professional in law? Is there a reason for that, Rich? What's going on, buddy? It's like, what does this have to do with Smash JT though? Oh, his lawyer has had controversial people on his podcast. Oh no, I can't believe that. He's such a terrible person for like, I don't know, not virtue signaling through his lawyer. Who gives a fuck? Why would I care? If I was Smash JT, why the fuck would I care about what my lawyer does when he's not representing me in court? Why would that be my responsibility?
Shadow banning. He hasn't
addressed that yet. It's because
Ian Miles Chung is a giant fucking loser. He absolutely is, though.
It's a very
motherfucker's been LARPing as like a MAGA America First Patriot, even though I don't think he's ever stepped foot in the United States. I don't think he's ever done that ever. Maybe he's come to America once, but I know he lives in Malaysia for like 90 to 95% of his life.
Difficult problem to tackle, right? It's baked right into Twitter.
Clearly.
Yep. I've interacted with him about this specific issue, and it is being worked on. It is a work in progress, much like a lot of things on Twitter are a work in progress.
This nigga thinks he's best friends with Elon just because he's like, Elon has liked some of his tweets. It's like, no, bro. That doesn't mean anything.
Say that it will be.
Elon Musk got Ashley St. Clair pregnant, and he doesn't even talk to that bitch, apparently. She
dealt
can't
with.
even
Maybe
get in
not in the
contact
immediate
with
future, but definitely in the future, right? And this is it is crucial that he deals with it for Twitter to be a profitable platform. So he took a platform, Twitter, he bought it, he bought a crime scene.
Yakass, thanks for the $5, dude. Yo, I subbed after watching your first video on RTU like a year ago, and I've seen nothing but gold on this channel. Love you, man. Cheers. Well, thank you, dude.
But he also bought a business that
a crime scene. You ever go on Twitter now after Elon bought it? Yeah, let's not talk about it being a crime scene.
It was dying. It was on the way down. They had too many employees who were not doing anything, not benefiting the company in any way whatsoever. They were just
Ian
bleeding
doesn't know.
money.
Ian Mao Chung, he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Like literally zero. Just talking out of his ass. He's never had any knowledge, he's basically the male version of a conservative thought. I should have pointed this out in my Laura Loomer video. Being a conservative thought, you don't just have to be a guy. They're usually women. But guys like Ian Miles Chung, he technically counts as a conservative thought. Because he also has nothing to offer like conservatives. One, because he's not American. Because there's literally nothing he can do for the GOP besides like talk on Twitter or whatever. Two, he's retarded. He doesn't know anything. Nothing about politics, no like good political analyses. Like he's worthless. He has nothing. All he does is grift based on attention he gets from conservatives who actually have power.
Month by month, tens of millions, possibly hundreds of millions a month. Now he has taken more than $44 billion to try to fix this company. He bought it for $44 billion, and then he spent an additional $5 or $6 billion by selling Tesla stock in order to prop it up and to ensure.
That one Korean dude on X who also he LARPs his MAGA. I think he's just gay. I don't even know. I don't know whether he's Korean or Korean American, but I know who you're talking about. I think that guy is just gay because I've never seen him. Like I don't know why. He just gives off the vibe, and to not to toot my own horn here, but when it comes to like my gaydar is kind of is kind of on point when it comes to political grifters, both on the left and the right.
Sure that it will at least survive for the next 1 or 2 years without a steady stream of revenue. Path forward is to turn Twitter into a profitable business venture, which would mean implementing monetization systems, allowing content creators to monetize it the way that Twitch or YouTube does, with super chats, things like that. That's obviously in the works. He's been talking to YouTubers about this stuff. Circling back to the shadow banning issue, I would say that that is in the pipeline. It has to be, because in order for Twitter to be financially successful, there has to be trust in the platform.
What was the point of playing that video? You barely reacted to it. You just said something about Twitter. Like, what was the point of that? He's so shit. He's so shit at this, right? He's so bad. Anyway, this stream is going on longer than I thought, so I might have to. Oh yeah, Korean Nick Fuentes. There is like a Nick Fuentes expanded universe now. We've got multiple Nick Fuenteses from like multiple countries now. Just dudes who they copy Nick Fuentes' mannerisms and his politics, and then sometimes they actually just copy how he looks, right? So we got the real Nick Fuentes, we got Korean Nick Fuentes, we got British Nick Fuentes. That's the dude who he got into that fight with his dad because I don't know, his dad found out that he was like LARPing as a Nazi on TV, like the internet, even though he doesn't have a job and shit. And we also got Portuguese Nick Fuentes. Somehow, literally all of them are gay. Every version of Nick Fuentes, no matter what country or race they are, they're all gay. I don't know how that's possible. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure that Ron Coleman didn't take on this case with Smash for any kind of personal gain or clout. There are a billion lawyers that would have been more than capable to handle a defamation case, that would have been just as capable as this man. But this guy this lawyer who's doing podcasts, who has on right-wing commentators, who literally had a guy lying saying that illegals were voting for Beto O'Rourke. You can't tell me he doesn't have other.
How is AF thriving? Well, it's not really. This is something that people who are pro Nick Fuentes, this is something that Nick Fuentes fans, they don't really understand. They think that just because Nick is popping right now, they think that just because Nick is in like the news again, they think that means that Nick's movement is like relevant, but it's not. Nick is relevant. America First is not relevant because America First isn't a movement. America First is a brand for Nick Fuentes. That's all it is. America First is something that Nick Fuentes puts on merch, puts on mugs, on sweaters, on t-shirts and shit, on hats and whatnot. And he sells to his doopy ass fans, right? America First, there are no chapters. America First doesn't have any like politicians they're trying to run. America First isn't out here canvassing for politicians they're trying to get into office. America First doesn't do any of the shit that Charlie Kirk was doing with Turning Point USA back when he was still a fucking college student. America First doesn't do any of that because America First is not a legit movement. America First is a brand that Nick Fuentes just uses to make money and keep pushing himself. And his fans don't understand that. They think there's something big going on. Nick Fuentes isn't even really a political figure. He's just an e-celebrity who like beefs with politicians, usually conservative politicians, despite being pro-conservative. I don't know. He was one of those dudes on X just a while ago. You know, you saw that wave of people. Some of you guys probably saw that wave of people on Twitter going, MAGA is dead. He was one of those things. He's one of those guys doing that at like the same hour of the same day. But, you know, we're not supposed to believe that he's getting any orders or he's like having it. I don't even know if Nick Fuentes even owns his own like fucking Twitter account anymore. His Twitter account might actually be automated or it might be given to some fucking DNC intern who's writing shit for him. I wouldn't even be surprised.
Motivations. You can't tell me there isn't something interesting going behind the scenes between Jeff and his buddy Ron Coleman here. So who is Ian Miles Cheong? What are some of his takes he's had?
I saw Sargon. You saw Sargon trying to boost Nick the other way? Oh, shit. Yeah, well, I don't know. Carl has never been... Here's the thing, right? Is that I won't deny that Sargon has been very, very good at being like a political commentator and political pundit. On like the internet, like being successful at it and making money. As far as like actually being a successful politician and having good political takes, he's got a very, very shitty batting average. Like going all the way back from the Gamergate days until now. Carl has never been good at that thing. He's been very good at like talking about politics, like actually he's good. How do I explain this? Carl is the type of dude. Carl's the type of dude who's like he's like a boxer who's good at conditioning. He's good at working the pads and working like, you know, the bag and shit. He's good at road work. He's good at doing drills. He gets knocked out in almost every professional fight he's ever been in. And I doubt that's ever going to change.
Before. Well, here you go. Here's this banger of a picture for you from some of his tweets. This is some takes that he's had. Gee, I wonder why Ian's being shadow banned. Buckle up for this. It's okay to be fascist, Ron's boy here, when the alternative is complete lawlessness and rampant violence, wouldn't you say? Another one here. Too high, meaning the age of consent. The age of consent is 16 in most European countries. It's 18 in the US for some reason. Redditors should be allowed to perv on 12-year-old girls in Reddit jailbait without being called out by Anderson Cooper. Isn't this the party that's supposed to, well, they used to be until Trump started protecting people that were the Epstein files, the Trump administration. Now all of a sudden they seem to turn a blind eye to anyone who says things like this. Stupid babies, they bring it on themselves. Stupid, sexy babies. Oh my God. And you understand why I'm showing this? So this is who Ron Coleman just had on. I wonder why they shadow banned you. He's not done it though. Well, why not? A good number of people on the sex register only there because of draconian age of consent laws. He's really concerned about the age of...
The reason I'm not reacting is because, like, one, I already knew about this, and two, it's Ian Miles Cheong. I already knew this motherfucker's a lolcow. He literally tried to have Andy Worski killed by swatting him. Like, this dude is a giant fucking loser. Him being a pedophile isn't something that surprises me in the least.
Consent, he wants that lowered, man. And he wants to defend the people who...
Also, age of consent probably is like 16 in Malaysia. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Ian Miles Cheong has, like, dated a 16-year-old in the past.
Who linked up with people who were underage. And he really...
Again, he's not an American. He LARPs as one.
He wants to make sure that the age of consent is lowered. I wonder if that's for any personal reasons there. This is disgusting. And then you have Ron Coleman, who is Smash JT's lawyer, having this guy on and platforming him and talking about being free speech warriors together. Do you see how this all ties together? None of these people actually stand for anything. They either just stand for hate, which Jeff does, and they just want to poison people's minds. And I'm interested to see how this whole case with Jeff plays out, because I have a feeling that his lawyers saw clout here. He's obviously in on the super right-wing get woke, go broke stuff, and that's probably why he took the case. And even though...
See, no. He should talk about the flashbang. He should talk about that time he had Andy Worski's dog flashbang and he almost had him killed by fucking swatters. Right? He should talk about that. But he doesn't know any of the... He doesn't actually know the Ian Miles Chung lore. And even if he did, he probably would he probably even wouldn't mention it because he wants Andy to die.
Jeff made a bunch of money with his crowdfunding. There's part of me in this, I'll say it out loud, I don't know, but I bet you behind the scenes that maybe Jeff didn't have to give him money because he saw opportunity with this case. Which if that's the case, and I don't know it is, where'd the money go?
Excuse me. I forgot, he flashbanged another guy's dog.
This is proof to all of you out there. Listen, you don't have to trust my word on anything. You shouldn't trust anybody's word. You should take an extra 5 minutes if you see a news story or you see someone talking about something to go, okay, I'm going to check into that. Just take a couple minutes out of my day. Is that accurate? Is what Rich was saying accurate? Is what whoever was saying is accurate? But here's the thing, at least with me, I encourage you to do that. Jeff just wants you to be captivated and listen to his lies and ignore the fact that he is obviously grifting and stands for absolutely nothing. Now, what's interesting is that Failure Speaks replied to Jeff because Jeff...
Why is he supposed to stand for something? Like, I never understood this too. Corruption Point, thank you for the $5, bro. Funny, I would say Smash JT isn't as much of a grifter. He gets into fights with people on his team and stands by stuff he says. The 4 quartering is, though. Oh yeah, the quartering is definitely a bigger grifter than Smash JT. Or even Rich, I would say. Right? I would say quartering is he's like the pinnacle. Quartering is one of the pinnacle grifters. Motherfucker, as soon as Charlie Kirk got offed, his first thing was like, I'm going to go to church. Hey, guys, I'm going to go to church because Charlie Kirk, he got killed. And, you know, that just awakens some spirituality that I just didn't have all the way until middle age, until right now, what I have to mention on stream because I want you guys to donate. Charlie's death motivated me to go to church, guys. You know, whatever. But no, it's like, why does Smash JT have to stand for something? He just talks about woke shit in video games. Why does anybody who talks about video games for a living have to stand for something? Like, why do they have to? See, I would understand if this was back in the Gamergate era or whatever. If this was back during the Gamergate era and it was like people were having principled debates and shit about ethics in gaming journalism, I would understand why you would expect somebody like, say, Total Biscuit to stay principled in somebody. Because that guy was actually like a pillar for an ideology and a movement in a sort of way. But for like somebody like Smash JT, he's a slop tuber. Slop tubers, I don't know, they can have belief systems. Does it fucking matter? Who's gonna change what they believe based off of whatever Smash JT has to fucking say?
Said this on Twitter. I almost forgot to give you this part before I close out the video. When I have lied about my feelings in The Last of Us Part 2, though, I've been honest even to this day that I love that game back when I first played it. After waking up and realizing the narrative behind the scenes across the board of inserting girl bosses for activism agendas, it soured me on the whole experience in hindsight. How is this so hard to comprehend? Because you have had this take steadfast before you flipped.
Oh yeah, Jim did kind of have a similar experience to Charlie's death, but that was different because Jim literally is dying and he's like spoken before about like how the meds he's on like affect his mind and shit. So that probably did actually have a real effect on Jim's like mind. Quartering is just about money. He's not on meds. He doesn't have cancer. He's not literally fucking dying and decomposing day after day. It's like, no, he just saw it as another opportunity to grift.
Over to be a grifter for years. And it usually, unless you pull a Dave Rubin, which you did, it's not just a hard pivot. You gradually go into it. You just went full in because you desperately wanted to clout chase. And I've known this about you before you even went the right-wing grifter route. And a lot of other people did too. Ask people who were on the Spawncast about Jeff and how they feel about him. But let me continue. You want to imply that for some reason I hate gay people or something with this attempted gotcha? Jeff, if there's any game where they may have someone that is from the LGBTQ community, it goes into DEI and woke with you. That is your whole platform now. And Failure Speak said it perfectly here and sums it up better than I could with his reply to you. You see, Jeff, people are allowed to change their mind and opinions on things. It mostly never happens, but when it does, it's a slow, gradual process that takes time. It doesn't happen in an instant. When influencers or content creators change their mind or opinions on a major subject, it gets looked at with more scrutiny. What do they have to gain from changing their opinion? What happens after they change their opinion? Are they taking a contrarian stance, or are they agreeing with the general public? Who do they associate themselves with after said change opinion? You see, Jeff, you look suspiciously like a grifter on all counts. You stood up and defended games like The Last of Us. Your opinion seemingly just shifted overnight as soon as you had a popular video with the anti-woke subject matter. You benefit the game monetarily, and you cozied up to well-known grifters like Mark Kern, who is also known as Grums. Let's not go into Grums right now. Your success only has been over the last year. Before then, you tried literally everything to gain YouTube fame. Oh my God, I know that firsthand. I talked about that here. You've leaned into the radical right wing and have a conspiratorial mindset towards everything. You dehumanize people. I prove that. You advocate for political violence. Prove that. And you use the same tactics you claim that the left does. That sums up Smash JT.
You could literally change some of the words in that whole fucking essay, right? You could change Jeff to Rich, and you could change radical right wing to radical left, and it would just apply to Rich. Like, this is one of those lol-cow things, is that they just lack the self-aware. He doesn't understand. This applies to you too, Rich. But he read all that. He read this fucking essay, you know, left can't meme. Leftist memes be like. He read all that, and nothing in it clicked in his brain. He doesn't get it.
Perfectly, and I'm glad
and he'll really never get it, right? You know what? Let me just.
Remember
the video's about to end anyway.
Research. Not saying to not enjoy videos and not enjoy content, but if someone's giving you news or information, don't just believe him. Do your own research so your mind doesn't fall captive to shameless grifters like Smash JT. Smash, you should be ashamed of yourself, dude. This is Rich Tomorrow signing out. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to my ASMR channel. Come to my live stream tonight.
Imagine saying that. Imagine telling somebody else that they should be ashamed of themselves and then saying, hey, subscribe to my ASMR channel. Imagine telling somebody else that they should be ashamed of themselves, and then you put a link in your video to this shit. A depressing ASMR video where I admit cloud gaming is now really good. Really? Fucking Smash JT should be the one who should feel ashamed, Rich? For real?
Links to all that below in the description, top pin comment, and I will see you in the next video.
Ugh, goddamn. His comedy is so not. Pedro Cardiel, thank you for the $10, buddy. Hey, Mikey, I wanted to say I started follow back when the Kino Casino and June the King started to expose Dickers of who he really was, and your documentary was top of the notch. Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, Rich is somebody who will never get it, ever. He's always he's gonna stay spiraling like this. There's never gonna be a point where he turns it around. That's why I said, when I said I would leave Rich alone, everybody would leave Rich alone if he just stopped, if he just became a boring slop tuber who just uploaded videos about gaming and tech and did his little streams about Phil or whatever, and occasionally streamed games to his audience. I wouldn't have anything to say about him. Nobody would. If he just stayed out of drama, he stayed out of politics, and he just did what he was doing for the past 15 years, he would be able to make a decent living, and everybody would just have to shut the fuck up because we wouldn't have any content to make. But he's right now, he's on this is the new era he's in, and he's never ever going to turn away from it. He's never going to learn. He's never going to get back on his feet. He's just like, this is a terminal spiral, and he doesn't even understand why the spiral is happening. He thinks that he can just like turn around and become a fucking bread tuber now in his mid-40s, just like he thought he could turn around and become a rap producer in his early 40s. That's not how that's gonna work, Rich. You're not gonna, this ASMR channel, this shit right here, this ain't gonna take you to Hollywood, bro. You ain't about to go triple platinum with any of these videos. What's the best performing video he has on his channel? Best performing video you have on his channel that's almost like half a year old. It's like 4.5 thousand views. And it's like, look, I understand it takes some time to build, but it's like, shit. When did I do that? You know, I won't even do that because that's not even fair because I make completely different content compared to Rich. But it's like, dude, just stick to what you know. Stop trying to branch out. ASMR is already such a hard genre to break into. But no, he's always going to. This is just his life now. And I'm just gonna have to make that new documentary next year, not this year. Because again, I got content I gotta put out this year. I got that video that I will be dropping this month, probably next week, hopefully next week. And then you guys won't see any more videos. I will stream, but you guys won't see any videos from me until December, around Christmas, maybe, hopefully Christmas Eve. I would like for that to be a little Christmas present for you guys. The last big video of 2025 I have for you guys. And here's what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to watch this. This will be a future stream that I do. This is, for those of you guys who remember, Rich's, right before Rich deleted his million sub channel, he put up, well, this wasn't the last video, but one of the last videos he put up was this. This was supposed to be his Netflix quality tier video. He tried to get into making like a gaming documentary. And what this was supposed to be his whole journey from the Atari 2600 all the way to the PS5, right? It's supposed to be this grand epic that was going to revitalize his channel. It didn't. Mostly because it was shit. It was terrible, right? And this video, the reason I wanted to react to it is because this is pure ReviewTechUSA. This is what happened. This is what Rich looks like when Rich puts 100% effort into something that he has no talent in doing. He doesn't know how to edit. He doesn't know how to write a script. He can't he's not good at storytelling. He can't compartmentalize like anything, right? It's like the concept, Atari 2600 to PS5, some dude just telling like his history with gaming and his ideas about what gaming is from all that from that era. It's a good concept. He couldn't like do it any justice at all. So I wanted to watch this, and we will watch this. Not now, because this is supposed to be a short stream, and I have to go and do something, like for real. But we will do it next time. Next time, well, not next time, because I kind of want to, I don't know, it'll depend. It'll depend. We will do this at some point before the end of the month. This will be on stream. Corruption Point, thank you for the $5. Imagine being RTU and getting into SJW Bread 2 style commentary in 2025. Oh yeah, that's over with, bro. I'm not gonna pretend like there aren't leftists who aren't like kind of killing it on YouTube, but the era of BreadTube reigning supreme, that era is gone. That era is done. The US aid, it dried up. And also, a lot of people just don't care. The days of milk and honey for leftist content creators, like it was during like the COVID and Biden days, those are done. And for Rich to come in and thinks he's going to make it into this dying industry, it's no different than him thinking he's gonna make it as an ASMR YouTuber. It's like, no, Rich, that ship has sailed and you're not on it. Noah ain't taking you on the ark. Anyway. That's all I have for you guys today. Short stream for once. We actually managed to do a short stream. Mikey, please more RTU videos. There will be more RTU content because he can't behave. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to... I do have a video. I would like to say... Well, no, I am going to stream. I'm going to stream again. I'm going to stream again on... stream again Monday morning, I'm thinking. I think I'm just going to start doing morning streams because there are too many people to compete with in the fucking afternoon, to be honest. So I'm probably going to end up streaming Monday morning, but there will be a video out around next week. So thanks for tuning in. See you guys.